Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Ami from Provision ISR. For those of you that haven't met me or haven't met them, thank you very much for joining us today. This seminar will take about 45 minutes, I believe. At the end of it, we will give time for questions. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, do feel free to write it on the side or write it on the chat box here, and we will ask those questions on behalf of you at the end of this seminar. So whoever needs to leave early will be able to view the important updates. And then if you have questions, let's keep it to the end of this seminar. This is a roadmap update, and we have released a roadmap in September 2022 with a year ahead overview. Since then, there are many changes all the time, delays, unfortunately, in some of the lines. And we wanted to make a little bit of recap of where we're at and what we are looking for at the coming few quarters. And we'll talk about mostly products, IP, cameras, NVRs, DVRs, HD cameras, some other integration that we did, and some other important topics that we felt important to update you. There's no hidden secrets here. We're not talking about prices or anything like this, so you can share it later with whoever you feel right. However, this one is right now our partners meetings, and we have the same one at 4 p.m. Israel time today. So if you feel that you haven't, that you think that there are other people that you would like to invite, do share with them so they can register as well. So let's start. So we will start with talking about IP cameras, and we will start series by series. First series we are looking at is a new series. We call it the B side. It's already available. I'm sure some of you already encounter it in our January price list. It's what we call IPB, IP and B series. Those cameras are what we call entry-level market IP cameras available in 2 megapixel. They are aluminum and plastic made, polycarbonate made, up to 20-meter IR distance, mostly for indoor, but also for outdoor use. 2 megapixel fixed lens, and the main focus on that series is, of course, price market or entry-level market. There's no analytic here. There's no DDA analytics. When we talk about analytic, of course, I refer to the DDA advanced analytics. So they don't have it here. We don't have it in rainbow, color at night technology or anything like that. The main target is entry-level market. For those of you that has that market segment, or that market segment even exists in their market, and mostly South America, we see it. There is a big demand for it. Asia market, we see it as well. Africa continent as well. We don't see a big demand in Europe or in North America, but it's important to know that we do have those line of product. Actually, we are reducing price dramatically here in that series in coming April price list, so make sure you follow it. Next important series, of course, the S-Sight series. So one of the series that many of you use a lot. So if you remember when we talked about the future of S-Sight cameras, we talked about the fact that we are launching very soon a series that will also have the WDR, and we'll have two main improvements. The first one is WDR, and the second one is the DDA first generation analytic. Now that's a big dramatic change. So far, the DDA analytic was belonged to the iSight series. We have opened the ability, if you remember, with the V2 models, and most V2 models already available in stock, probably in your stock as well. And so we did open the DDA first generation analytics, the ability to identify human beings, four-wheel cars, and two-wheel cars, also to the S-side cameras. The way to do it, by the way, needless to say that, of course, this series is NDAA certified product with the letter N. You can view it. So again, we have the WDR available. We have the DDA first generation. It's an NDAA product, and Checkpoint is coming soon. So we start with V2. WDR, we are still working on the performance of it. It still needs to be improved, but it has true WDR and the DDA first generation analytic. We already have it in stock, as you saw when you're already purchasing, and I'm sure you already have those in stock as well. The way to open the analytic is basically using a config tool file. And the config tool file is already available. We are not launching it in our website and such. You should contact our technical support if you see a need to implement a DDA analytic into S-side series. In many markets, our partner decided not to open the analytic. We leave the decision up to you. The V2 later on will be upgraded to V4. We'll talk about V4 in a minute. But the V2 right now that you have in stock, you have the freedom to decide whether to use the config file in order to open the analytics. I know that in some market it's important to do so. In some market, not. So we do leave the option for you to choose. If you want to learn how to do it, again, this is not a tool we give to installers, and therefore we don't open it in our website. It's a tool we give to our partners, support centers, and you need to learn how to do it, and therefore we ask to contact our support center to learn how to do it. That's regarding the V2. However, as you know, very soon we already move to the V4. The V4 stands for the Checkpoint one. So the V4 will already have the WDR, the DDA first generation, and the Checkpoint. So basically everything you see here. When is it available? We'll already start receiving some of the stock very soon in April and May. I believe very soon you will start receiving them. That's about the SI 2 megapixel. SI 4 megapixel is basically the same thing as SI 2 megapixel. The V2 models carry WDR, support DDA first generation, and they are NDAA approved item. The way to open the analytic, same thing with the config tool file, and you can open the analytic already on your stock. It's already available, so you can contact our support center if you see that there is a way, if there is a demand or a need to have the SI with building analytic. Now, this is about the 4 megapixel. Regarding the upgrade of the SI, we are already releasing a new series, which is 5 megapixel. So as you see, 350 IPS-N NDAA and V4. So again, the V4 stands for the Checkpoint Embedded Solution. As you probably noticed, this is a 5 megapixel resolution, also available in 16:9 ratio. And this is one of the reasons for the upgrade. The 5 megapixel will be available in Q2 already. Probably around May, we will start having it in our price list, and you will see that there is a small price increase. So again, we are not ending the line of the 4 megapixel. We are keeping the line of the 4 megapixel as well. However, when it comes to the Checkpoint, we need to upgrade the firmware, the hardware dramatically, and therefore we need to create a new line of products, 5 megapixel, with Checkpoint embedded. Small price increase, you will see it in our price list. And the 8 megapixel, the SI 8 megapixel. So actually, we already have in our stock the 8 megapixel V3, as we call them. And as mentioned before, they carry WDR, true WDR, DDA first generation, and Checkpoint embedded with firmware update. Actually, it's the first line of product that we have with Checkpoint embedded solution. And when you want to demonstrate Checkpoint right now, that's the series to go with because it's already available. They are NDAA approved. checkpoint embedded, and it's great for all your coming seminars and demonstration about the checkpoint. Many of you already ordered samples of it. The analytic is open with config file update. Make sure you also get the latest version for the checkpoint solution. All of those versions and updates available from our technical support. Continue with the site. Let's talk about the Rainbow. The Rainbow is what we call the SRN series, S, Rainbow, and the AA. And as you probably noticed, we already enlarged that range of the Rainbow camera. We released a motorized lens and different lens and different housing, small bullet, medium-sized bullet, with motorized lens, with 2.8, with 3.6. We have a lot of models available for you. And we have a firmware also available for you to open the DDA first generation. So actually you have a S-Sight with Rainbow and analytic as well open. Yeah. We wanted to make sure that also, it's a small note, we want you to make sure that your support team knows that the hybrid LED, you can define that the camera will switch to color only when there is a DDA event in the frame. So make sure your support knows, because we got a lot of requests to have the Rainbow white light active only when there is true DDA event, and not as a default on. So right now the installer can define that only when there is a real DDA event, the image will turn into color. Make sure your support knows it and know how to activate it. Regarding checkpoint, the S-Sight Rainbow in checkpoint will be available in Q4. Actually, it's one of the last series that we're going to have with checkpoint. Again, it's mostly about which series sells the most. We talk about S-Sight and I-Sight. Rainbow is just the beginning of it. Next series under S-Sight is the Wi-Fi. As you know, we released lately the new Wi-Fi camera. Some of you already ordered sample. Full stock of this camera will be available in June. And by the way, when I'm talking dates here in this presentation and months and so on, I refer to China availability stock. When we want to understand about Netherlands availability stock or USA market availability stock, please take another month or two in advance. So when you see June here, for example, this will be available in China, in Netherlands, or in US. You take an extra 1.5, 2 months. So those cameras are already available. Some of you already ordered sample. Remind you, it's a true Wi-Fi camera, not a wireless camera. It replaced our previous wireless solution camera. That's a Wi-Fi working with the Wi-Fi protocol, with a local router or access point, automatically detected by the NVR. So the procedure is much easier, and it's a true Wi-Fi solution. DDA is also coming available to this model. So I believe that in June that this product will already be available as a full stock, will be available also with DDA first generation. So to summarize regarding the analytic, so you have a summary here of all the models that are available with DDA first generation. And there are basically two options to get it. One option is to make sure you use the latest version, and then you open the config file to open the analytics. So even if it's an older camera that you have in stock, V2 of course, you need to upgrade it to the latest version and then to open the config file. This is why we recommend to contact our support to give you clear instruction on how to do it. Option 2, of course, if it's come from production with the analytic embedded, if you see on the item label version as described above here, then you know the analytic is already activated as well. I hope it's clear. If you have any question, please keep it to the end and I'll be happy to answer. We move to I-Sight series. I-Sight 2 megapixel. So we already relaunched the IPEN, the NDAA compliant model, and the DDA second generation with firmware update. We want to remind you the second generation DDA is analytic with full classification, such as age, gender, color of shirts, color of cars, maker of cars. There is a lot of filters you can use in order to refine or have better results on your search abilities in the NVRs. So we already start shipping out some of those models. It's available for you to use. All you need is a firmware update to open the second generation analytic. This will be released in Q2. We're looking at around May or June to have the analytic open as well. And that will give that extra benefit of the iSight versus the S-Sight. Because like we explained before, the iSight is now getting the first generation DDA. So in order to empower the iSight series, we are opening the second generation analytic. That's what will make the differentiation between the S-Sight and the iSight. But remember also in the iSight, we have much more variety of housings, including anti-vandal models, different tube, different bullet cameras, different lens options, much more than the S-Sight. What about checkpoint? So also here, the V4. So remind you, V4 stands for Checkpoint Embedded Solution. 2 megapixel will be released only around Q3. Again, 2 megapixel iSight, it's one of the less usable series, one of the last series to get the Checkpoint Embedded Solution. iSight 4 megapixel, same thing. So all the IPEN, very familiar, very sellable series that one of our best leaders. So again, the IPEN, meaning it's already NDAA, mark the letter N. DDA second generation with firmware update, same thing as the S-Sight. This will be released also around May and June, the firmware, to open the analytics with the second generation. And we move to the V4 very soon with Checkpoint. This will be actually happening faster around Q2. Already the Checkpoint 4 megapixel iSight will be available. As for iSight 8 megapixel, iSight 8 megapixel V3 will be available right now in Q2 with NDAA compliant DDA second generation. Checkpoint will come later. Sorry, V3 already stands for Checkpoint in this series. V4 will come later, but right now we already have V3 with Checkpoint embedded as well. It's being released very soon. Continue with iSight, active deterrence cameras. As you know, we already released the active deterrence cameras, the one with the building flashlight and siren, what we call the 340 AD, active deterrence. We are opening the DDA second generation to these models by firmware upgrade. This will come in Q2 of 2023. At the same time, we already, if you remember in our previous presentation, we talked about a new series to replace that one. Those are the models coming very soon with V4. The main difference is basically it will have the DDA second generation. It will have the building siren and flashlight. It will also have the Checkpoint embedded, and it will also have the rainbow technology, the color at night technology. So basically, it's a camera that has it all. Therefore, you can see from the model that it has, it's 4 megapixel camera, by the way, and it's active deterrence, rainbow, NDAA camera, and it has Checkpoint. So it basically has it all. All those elements that you see here at the bottom, Checkpoint embedded, NDAA, DDA second generation, smart alert with active siren and flashlights, and rainbow color at night technology. So I hope this is more or less cover our IP range with big titles, IPB with a basic series for the low-end market, entry-level market, S-Sight with the analytic open and the Checkpoint updates regarding when it's available. Many of you ask us those questions. the 5 megapixel, which is a new series, Rainbow, which we already empowered the range of products, and Checkpoint will be only towards the end of the year. Wi-Fi camera, the eyesight with all advances and updates, and the active deterrence series. We did some camera housing improvements due to feedback coming from you. The first improvement we did was about the DI housing. Many of you was complaining about the fact that the two parts are falling apart from each other when installer need to install it on the ceiling. It's very hard to do it with one hand. He needs two hands in order to do it. So we changed the housing itself. Right now, and the two parts will not fall apart unless there are, as you can see here, there is a small mark on the two parts. When they are aligned, you can disassemble the two parts. And when they are not, it's basically only one part and it's not fall apart. Second housing we did the improvement was with the i4 housing, the bullet camera for 40 meter. We changed the mechanism on how you strengthen the tightening ring. It's already been redesigned to allow better tightening by hand. We got a little bit complaint that it was very hard to tighten it, so we changed the mechanism. You will see it coming very soon. What about more product that we are launching soon? Some of you already asked us about it. You heard it in different presentation or with meeting our account managers. So when are we going to have it? So the first line we already released last month was the thermal cameras. We just released the first two models with 3mm and 7mm. Any input you get on those cameras, we'll be happy to gather. One of the inputs we got from you was price, and the prices right now are being reduced dramatically. You will see it on April price list. And we will release a 19mm model for a longer range distance. We will give you more information about it. Probably it will be available at the beginning of Q3, somewhere around August or July. But if any input you have, please share with us. We released a very clear product brief about the technology, how it works. We also gave a lot of marketing elements and how to promote it. We will have a separate seminar about it. Many of you asked to learn more about it. So we're going to have a seminar dedicated about thermal cameras, so you can raise any topic or ask any questions. April 2023, actually next month, we are launching the first 4-megapixel LPR camera. One of its benefits is that it's NDAA compliant. With the 2-megapixel, we cannot reach an NDAA product. However, with the 4-megapixel, we can. So it's an NDAA compliant product, LPR. And the most important, many of you have asked, in the 2-megapixel, this camera will also support WIGAN protocol for access control use with a future update. We are working on it very much, and it will be ready very soon with the WIGAN protocol, so you can integrate the camera into your access control system and have it one as part of your access control system. In May 2023, we are launching our first model of the intercom family, which is the doorbell camera. We're going to send you, hopefully around middle of April, a product brief with marketing material about it. And the doorbell is the first product that will be available. It's part of our intercom series. The intercom series will have an outdoor unit, an indoor screen, but the doorbell is a full camera that will be available for you with different elements. The first one is, of course, camera, 2-megapixel resolution camera, has an SD card, built-in SD card, has a face detection that you can use with NVR to do a recognition and open the door when there is someone familiar coming into the door. It has built-in microphone and speaker. It has white light LED, has one alarm in to connect different elements, and it has, of course, trigger out, normally open or normally closed, to open the door, the gate. It has RFID with MIFARE protocol, and of course the call to app button. When you press it, it will send a push notification to the app. You can have a direct communication from the provision come to app. Availability, samples will be available in May, hopefully even before, and full stock will be available in June. We also, as you know, IFSEC is coming, IFSEC London is coming. In IFSEC, we're gonna present the entire family of the intercom units, including the full outdoor units and the indoor monitor as well. And this is an NDA model with the letter M. When we official launch the product, we'll do similar to what we did with the thermal, full product coverage with brief and marketing material and a seminar, so you can ask questions, see the product in action, and talk with our support team to understand more about the product itself. In June 2023, we are launching a long-range bullet camera, 80-meter long range, and with a lens of 9 to 20 meter, 22 millimeter lens. Again, demand came from you, and we're answering the demand. In Q3 of 2023, we are launching, we are improving our DMA housing. The DMA housing, as we have it today, has a few models into it. It's a small mini dome with anti-vandal. We have a few models with it, as you know. Some of you are purchasing them. So we worked for the last year to design a new DMA housing with a much improved mechanism, with the red and line signature housing, better space for humidity and problem we faced in the past. One of the nice things we are doing it is we are giving an optional cover to the installer. He can decide whether he wants it with a white cover or with a black cover. Both of them will be available in the package, and it will be available in a few models, both in the S-Side series and in the I-Side series. There is a big demand for this type of cameras, especially in the project market, but not only. And we were waiting and working very hard to launch this new housing. Many of you ask us about the 12 megapixel IP camera. It will be ready, but only toward the end of the year, Q4, and of course NVR to support them. We will talk about it in the NVR. So talking about NVRs, many of you ask us about NDAA models, of course. Main reason for the delay was Checkpoint. We wanted to have the NVR already with Checkpoint embedded solution. So just to answer your questions, we already released the first two models, which are NDAA, as you can see, with the letter N, and there are Checkpoint as well. And those are the first model we released with NDAA and the Checkpoint. Full stock will be available in May. Next models that are coming under NDAA are the following three models coming in May: NDAA and Checkpoint. The reason for those three specific models is because Checkpoint right now is very much needed, and also NDAA very much needed in the project market. So we have, for your everyday installation, we released those two models for demonstration and for your everyday installation. Next model we are launching are directed to the project market. So as you can see, it's the 32-channel machine with RAID and so on. As you can see, there are also 12-megapixel machines as a preparation for our 12-megapixel IP camera. Rest of the model will be released in Q3, so starting in July, more or less, June, August, July, we will start to see more and more models available. Again, very easy to recognize the NDAA model with the letter N. And we're about to release an economic 4 and 8 channel NVR around Q3 for low-end markets. let's talk a little bit about HD market. HD market is a market that is shrinking and going down a bit. IP market is definitely booming more and more and more, but we are not neglecting the HD market, and we are working also to give you benefits and the ability to compete on this very, very competitive market. Our competitors are very aggressive in that market. They see it as a dying market that require maybe lower profit. However, we do a lot of elements to help you penetrate into that market and gain market share in that market as well. So what we are doing, first thing, we are launching a new basic series, similar to our IP series. So again, it's a 2 megapixel and a 5 megapixel series, which is built from metal and some kind of a plastic, high polycarbonate plastic metal housing. Will be available in Q3, always provisional SR red line signature, similar to our IPB in the IP range. So will be available in a lower cost range. The Pro Sight is our main line, of course. We are doing some improvement there. First of all, changing the sensor from 4:3 ratio to 16:9 ratio to a better image quality. We're adding microphones. Many of you ask us about microphones in HD cameras. So we are adding microphones and WDR. You will see it by recognizing a V2 to the model. At the end of the model, you will see V2. It's coming in Q3. For those of you that ask about microphones, so you should know that our DVR, our NDAA DVR under version 1.3.8, we will see it in a minute, already support audio over coax feature, AOC, audio over coax feature. So when you have HD cameras that has built-in microphone, they already supported on our DVR, you should know. So this is about the Pro series. We have the Rainbow, make sure you know it. We have Color at Night HD camera. Yes, we do. Some of you asked, when are we going to have it? It's already available. It's been available for a while now. 2 megapixel, we have released the first Rainbow model. Those are the models. Follow them. Note, they already have built-in microphone. So if you are looking right now for an HD camera from Provisional SR that already have built-in microphones, go with the Rainbow HD. And together with the DVR that already support audio over coax, you have an answer. The 5 megapixel, we're going to add Rainbow cameras as well, starting from Q3. The only theory we are basically announcing end of life is what we call the Ultra series. Again, the Ultra had the main benefit of WDR, but as you can see, we're already going to have WDR in our Pro series, so there's no need for that series anyway. So we're announcing end of life until stock lasts. What about the DVR, yes? So the DVR, we are launching new models with V2. Why? Few things. First of all, we are launching the Smart Motion Detection, the SMD, for analog channel. Note, those are DVRs, not NVR. We are launching what is being called Smart Motion Detection, starting from version 1.4. The DVR will be able to recognize human beings and vehicles, 4 wheels and 2 wheels, and activate alerts accordingly. So basically, it's DDA and analog channels. Now, it doesn't work in the same methodology as DDA. You will not see that bar on the side with human being detector in cars and bicycles and so on. But when you do search, you will be able to search by DDA, basically. And the second important topics to learn about those models is that they also support full DDA support for limited analog channel, including the ability to search by human or by car or so on to specific channel. For example, the 16-channel machine will have 2 channels support the full DDA analytics. And of course, they have checkpoint embedded. Needless to say that they are NDAA, because even today, all of our current models are NDAA with Mark N. So starting from Q2, Q3, we will start to see V2 that are being added to the model, which tells you that we support the SMD, the full limited channel DDA, and the checkpoint embedded solution. A little bit about changes in software. We want to explain something about the VMS because there is a lot of confusion, and I want your attention here because there's quite a lot of confusion regarding the VMS, the hardware, the standard version, the enterprise version, how many channels I can use there, how many channels I can use there, what to do when I have third-party channel, when I want to connect Hikvision or Dawa product into provisional SR VMS. So we want to make a little bit of recap of how it looks. First of all, few important topics. We are launching a new VMS management server, medium size. As you know, we have medium server for small application, and we have the Excel management server for large scales. So we are launching a medium one for medium size project. We will see it in a minute. And all the current and future hardware already support checkpoint. The hardware itself already supports checkpoint. The firmware that carries the checkpoint will be released in version 2.1.4, supposed to come in about 2 or 3 months. And like I said, we would like to make for you the difference between the management server. So basically, we're dividing it into 3 types of OSIA VMS. The first one is the OSIA VMS standard, which carries standard feature. Basically, it's a software available for PC. You can download it for free in Provisional SR website. You can give it to any installer. Any installer you can use that software. And we will talk about what it has in a minute. Then we have the OSIA VMS Enterprise, which you know, which is available on PC or on dedicated hardware and carry enterprise feature. And we are, like I said before, we are launching a professional model, which is only dedicated hardware. Again, with enterprise feature. Let's see what I'm talking about. We try to make a very clear table for you to understand it much easier. So this is our map, as we call it today, with the most important parts as we see it. Let's talk about a little bit what we have here. So first of all, what is the maximum channel permitted? And then how many default channels it has. Another important topic to discuss is how many devices, maximum devices I can connect, because channels and device are not the same thing. Device can be an NVR, for example. Channel can be 16 channel under one NVR. So there is a difference between channel and device. 2 very important elements is the third-party channel, number of third-party channel, and number of third-party devices. Here we're talking about not provisional SR, but third-party. It could be OnVIF equipment or Hikvision or Dawa for that matter. Then we talk about, can we connect to this hardware a media transfer server? Can we connect a storage server? Can we connect a decoder? And what type of license do I get from it? Now let's see what I'm talking about. So as I said before, the standard version that's available for PC and everyone can download it for free in our website. What does it come with? And again, it's available only on PC. Maximum channel permitted, 256. Default channel, it comes open with 256. Maximum device count, 256. So yes, I can connect 256 NVRs, but from any NVRs, I can only get 1 channel. So make your calculation when you go to offer this solution. How many third party can I connect to it? So we limited it to 16 channels. So if somebody wants to experiment with provisional SR VMS, yes, you can connect 256 channel Out of them, he can also connect 16-channel third party. Can I connect a media transfer server? No. Can I connect a storage server? No. Can I connect a decoder to it? Yes. Can I change the amount of channels somehow by asking Provision ISR to help me? No. What you see is what you get. So the license type is fixed. There's no way to change the numbers here. Great. Let's move to our enterprise version, the one that you are familiar with, what we call the Excel. And again, we have available for PC or for dedicated hardware, what we call the Excel. So how many channels can we connect? Maximum. Right now, the limit is 10,000. By the way, if you need to talk about 10,000, if you have a project with the 10,000, you need additional hardware, especially media transfer server. So we suggest to contact our support in case you have such project and to do the architecture together with Provision ISR project managers. So again, the maximum channel is 10,000. Let's talk about default. The PC version, by the way, that PC version is available in our website to be downloaded. However, it's limited to 32 channels. So the default channel is 32. The default device you can connect is 32. Third party is limited to 16 channel. Limited to 16 channel. Yes, you can connect media transfer server. Yes, you can connect recording storage server. And yes, you can connect decoder. And that license is flexible. Flexible meaning we can change any one of those numbers. Again, you need to purchase the license, the price of the license and all that, but you can change any license up to 10,000 here and even use it only with third-party channel if you choose to. So this license type is flexible. Same thing with the Excel. The Excel machine is support maximum 10,000. It comes pre-configured with 512 channel and 512 devices. Out of those 512, and again, it's part of those 512 channel are permitted 64 third-party channels. So 64 and the rest Provision ISR channel. You can connect any hardware to it, and the license is flexible. Again, you need to contact us, ask us to change this number or to increase this number. There is a procedure to it. We need to send you a file. We need to get the license number. We need to get the screenshot of the registration page and to open the channels for you. Again, price, I'm leaving it to a different discussion. You have the prices. So this you're already familiar with. And this you're already familiar. I hope I managed to make a little bit more logic into it. Let's talk about what we call the professional line. In the professional line, we have two dedicated hardware, only dedicated hardware. The first one is the small management server, which you buy today. You're familiar with this model. Let's talk about it. It's come with maximum 256 channel. Default, it's come with 256 channel. Limited to 64 devices, meaning maximum 64 NVRs, for example. Each one of them with 4 channels, for example, will reach the limit of 256. You need to go more than that. You need to go to the medium server or to the Excel. Number of third party. We enlarge it 32 channels to give you more ability to come with the existing installation of our competitors. You can take those channels and connect it to that VMS. You cannot connect media transfer server. You cannot connect storage server. You can connect decoder. But what you see here is what you get. Though these are a fixed device, there is no ability to increase the third party or to increase the default channel. You want to go more than that? Go to our next model. And this is the new model we launched, the medium-sized server, available starting from the middle of April. It's come with a maximum channel of 512. Default, it comes with 300 channels. 300 channels. And out of them are 128 third-party channels. And again, you can connect any one of the hardware. So note that when you come to an existing project of our competitor, this is one of the machines that will give you great entry. And when we talk about price, naturally it sits in the price between the XL and the small one, so it sits somewhere in the middle, and you can use that machine. An important subject that I learned yesterday is that this device, and it's a question that many of you ask us, this device can also have internal hard drives. It means you can also use it as a storage server. If you need a small storage server, because today we have a storage server with 3U, with many hard drives. Also, the price is quite big, quite high. So note, this device can act as a storage server. It has 4 hard drives. The price of the machine is relatively low compared to, very low, compared to that big storage server. And it's a great solution also as a storage server. Again, I'm hoping this was logic enough for all of you. You will get the presentation. You can see it later and learn a little bit and ask us questions. Again, we are here later to answer any question. A few more updates, and hopefully I'm going to finish with it because I see we are running a little bit late. So let's speed it up. First thing, integration. As you all know, we explained you in different conversation, Provisional ISR philosophy when it comes to integrating alarm system into Provisional ISR. In a nutshell and very brief, because we're going to talk a lot about it in the coming few months. Provisional ISR is not an alarm manufacturer. Provisional ISR is very focused on CCTV, bringing more solution into CCTV market. However, we did decide to bring the advantage of alarm system into the app. So we are doing integration of alarm system into ProvisionCam 2 app. This is ProvisionCam 2 app interface. And we already have an interface to control your alarm panel. Disarm, arm, zones, get troubleshoots, and many, many things. Basically, everything that the end user can do, he will be able to do from ProvisionCam 2 app. We are launching the integration between the two companies, between Provisional ISR and Tyco. And just to let you know, Tyco have 3 alarm manufacturers under it: Visonic, DSC, and Bentel. Those 3 alarm manufacturers exist in almost in every market, have quite a big market share in almost every market. And we are in contact with other alarm manufacturers to do the similar integration with them. And by the way, you are more than welcome to suggest alarm companies that exist in your market and that will be able to do integration similar to that. We are launching the integration itself in IFSEC in London in May. Coming May, Tyco will be together with us in the Provisional ISR stand, and we'll promote that integration as well. This is a revolution. Remember our slogan in cybersecurity, leading the revolution in cybersecurity. We believe that we also do something very pioneering here in alarm system as well. We will give you a lot more brief about it in the coming few months, but just for those of you that ask us about it, know that it's coming. We are launching it in May, and then the version will be available and you will be able to connect any one of those alarm systems and control it from ProvisionCam 2 app. Another very important integration or step up that we did was about ONVIF Profile M. ONVIF Profile M is what is called metadata. Metadata is basically mean all the AI analytics that exist in provisional SR camera will be available also under the ONVIF protocol. ONVIF protocol M require full AI events. Why is it important? Because when we talk about Milestone, for example, and these interfaces are from Milestone interface, Milestone require integration under Profile M, and not only Milestone, many VMSs and SIEM software. And we are very much, as you know, penetrating now the high-end market and the project market where Milestone and companies like this exist. And especially in projects like this, they require metadata from the end devices, from the cameras, and therefore we need to bring it into the ONVIF protocol, and we are finishing the ONVIF protocol M certified these days. And as I said, it's already working on Milestone. That's great news and great step up towards the project market. Another element we are doing right now, and that will be our final topic for today, we have changed our packages. Once every while, we collect information from the market about our packages, and we see what we need to improve in order to make them more marketing oriented, more logistic oriented from many aspects. And we did a lot of changes. One on the logistic side, one on the front side, and also elements about cybersecurity. Let's see a little bit of what we did. First of all, for those of you that still haven't got used to it, so camera have a dedicated color into it. The S site is more blue, the I site is more orange. We have a project series coming very soon. We'll have a different color. So when we talk about the side, as we call it, the marketing side, what we believe for those of you that have shops and have a product visible to the installer when he walk around like a supermarket and he pick his product. So this is the side that we recommend to put in front of him. And why? Because we did a lot of improvement in order to make it very easy for the installer to know what this product is. So, for example, we enlarged the resolution. It's one of the first elements the installer choose. I need a 2 or 4 or 8 megapixel camera. And we gave a different color to its resolution. We enlarged the lens because it's a second topic that installers are looking at. What lens does it have? So it's very easy to identify. And of course, a bit of technology. So which series it has. So the S site will have orange, and the I site will have, the S site will have blue, and the I site will have orange, and so on. And if it has DDA, first generation or second generation, and so on, you will see it on that marketing side. The second side we improve is the logistic label. That logistic part is mostly belong to your warehouse people or when you scan the product. So we enlarge it dramatically. We increase the size of the barcode to make it much more readable by your scanners. We also here, we kept minimal information. In that case, resolution, series, and lens. And of course, the version number and the production number, and all the markings of CE, FCC, different tick mark for Australia or Russia, and so on. There is also a barcode, a QR code to scan that leads to the product page of that specific model. So again, the logistic label has been increased dramatically with much more accurate and minimal information to your warehouse people. The third side we handled was dedicating a full side to cyber solution with Check Point embedded logo, a little bit information, and of course, QR to scan to see the solution itself, how does it work, and it's available to in our packages. We did the same thing also on our NVR. We improved the packages, including the Check Point embedded the NDAA, the OnVIF profile M. On the backside of it, there is a section dedicated to the OSI interface with a little bit of information, a section about cybersecurity, very similar to the camera, and a section dedicated to a little bit to learn about the app with a few words and a few icons. That's it from our end for today. I hope this presentation was informative enough for you. We are doing this kind of seminar, just a few words before we open the mic and leave you alone. We are doing this kind of seminar usually every 6 months or so, when we try to keep you updated about what's coming. So you will be able to plan your stock management, to be able to transmit that information to the market. Recording of today's seminar and the presentation that I've used will be sent to you by the end of this seminar, later today or tomorrow. Like I said before, we are having the same seminar today at 4 p.m. I'm seeing a few people that are just joining, so I'm guessing you missed the time clock. So again, we're having the same seminar at 4 p.m. For those of you that has to leave, thank you very much for joining. I hope you found it very useful and hope to see you in our next seminar. Thank you very much. What we're going to do now